I am Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. She is a fellow podcaster as well as one of her advocacy, fueling a creating a magical life. No other than Miss Magic Barclay.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Welcome, Miss Magic. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Sure. So I'm a functional health practitioner located in Australia. I work worldwide remotely. I am also a best-selling author and I love books, and that's really helped me along my journey.
Congratulations for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Miss Magic. And hoping for more and more best-selling books to come.
Hopefully.
Yes, so tell us, or our topic for today is treating root cause rather than symptoms. So
Yes.
tell us what is all about this topic.
Sure. So in allopathic medicine or modern Western medicine, we are taught to chase symptoms. We're taught that, for example, I've got watery eyes at the moment because I've got some cream in my eyes. So that would be the symptom rather than the root cause, which is I've got cream in my eyes. So we're taught to chase these symptoms. A headache, you take a tablet. Inflammation, you take a tablet. And what I do is I treat root cause. So what is causing the problem that is throwing up the symptoms? The symptoms are just indicators. And so we really need to delve into what we're doing.
Very well said, Miss Magic. And what tools or method do you use to uncover the root cause of a patient's or client's problem?
Yeah, so we have a very long questionnaire, an intake questionnaire. We do a free call called a root cause analysis. And before that call, we get our clients or potential clients to fill out this very long questionnaire because history is the key. So, back in medicine, when we lived in villages and small towns, we had a doctor or a medicine man who knew all about us. He probably helped us be delivered. He knows our family. He knows what we eat. He knows the climate. And so we've lost that. So now we need to get a complete history before we do anything with a client.
And Miss Magic, how do lifestyle factors like diet, stress, or deep play into identifying root causes?
Look, stress is a big one. It has a physical impact. It has an emotional and mental impact. It has a flow-on impact to our family and our loved ones and our environment. So that's a really big one. Diet, again, we just eat so much processed, convenient food now. It's not convenient for our bodies. So, very rarely are we eating seasonally and pulling it straight out of the backyard and, serving it up to our families. And as for workplaces, well, they're very stressful places as well. And the environment's changing. Yes, it is. Do I believe in climate change? No, I don't. But I do believe the environment's changing. And that's because we are putting so many more chemicals into the air now. We're taking out trees to clear land. And so, yes, things are changing on the land.
Can you give an example of a time when treating a symptoms mask a deeper issue?
Yeah, so inflammation is a big one. We treat inflammation by using anti-inflammatories, but we need to ask, why is there inflammation there? So what is causing that? Because when you cover it up, you're not fixing the problem. So is it because there's, one of the systems of the body is not working? Is it an issue where you need to see a chiropractor because something's out of line in your skeletal system? Do you need to see an osteopath? Do you need to see a functional health practitioner? Like, what is causing the inflammation? And so we have learnt over the years, or we've been trained rather over the years to take anti-inflammatories. And these are actually very dangerous for a lot of systems of the body.
Miss Magic, how important is listening to a patient full story in uncovering the real cause?
It's very important because their languaging will also tell us what's going on. I had a client recently, her paperwork looked really clear, there wasn't much there. When it got to filling out her ACEs questionnaire or adverse childhood experience questionnaire, she ticked some things that were alarming. And when I spoke to her, her languaging around them was even more alarming. And I could see that's where a lot of her issues were coming from. So listening, asking questions, delving deep, that's what we need to do.
And how do lifestyles like diet, stress, or sleep play into identifying different causes of our body?
Yeah, look, they play in very deeply, very greatly. So if you're not sleeping, you're not resetting your body. None of your systems of your body are able to reset. Your liver can't do what it needs to do properly while you're asleep. So that's a big thing. Diet, again, if you're not putting the right fuel in, you're not going to get the right results. So it's, like putting sugar water into a car, it just won't run without the gasoline. So, your environment, your friendship group, all of that adds up. And of course, stress. You can be doing everything right in your life, but if you are stressed and chronically stressed, things are going to come undone.
In your experience with magic, how does mindset or emotional well being influence physical symptoms?
Look, your body listens to what you have to say. So if you say something negative about how you're feeling, it could be something like, wow, my back really hurts today. Your body's going to listen to that and match you. And guess what? Your back pain's going to be a lot worse. So what we need to do is really talk to ourselves in a positive and an uplifting and an encouraging way. Things may not be exactly where you need them to be, but you're on the way. And that's what's really important to acknowledge.
Do you find that addressing root causes often requires collaboration across multiple disciplines?
Yes, it can, definitely. I refer out when I need to. Um, I think we need a support team, and we just don't have that support team that we had back in the villages and the small towns. So we do need to create that. But we really need to look at people that want the best for us, not just want a returning customer.
Miss Maddox, in your experience, how do you balance medical interventions with holistic
Look, there's a
approaches?
there's a time and a place, a time and a place for everything. And so medically, if I've got a bone sticking out of my leg, I definitely want to
Yes.
see a doctor about that. But if it's something that I can treat with herbs, with oils, with foods, then I'm going to do that first. So I'm always going to use the path of least harm first. And that's what's really important, to create that balance that we seem to have lost. Every medication has a side effect. They're all listed clearly on many different databases. And so we need to go with something that has minimal side effects first. And I think that's where we just lost our way a little.
And what are the biggest challenges you face in convincing people to look beyond their symptoms?
I think it's the training that we've had over the past, say, 50, 60 years. We've been taught that there's a pill for everything, a band-aid solution for everything. Even band-aids, like there's a thing. So we've just gotten accustomed to the quick fix, the easy way to fix things. What we need to do is really ask in depth, why? Why is this happening? Does the cut on my finger truly need a band-aid, or does it just need a saltwater wipe and a bit of yarrow on it to stop bleeding, and then some sunshine and some air to fix it? Or do I need the band-aid, or do I need stitches, or do I need whatever? So, as an example, we just need to really look at what the cleanest way of healing is.
Miss Magic, how do you respond to critics who say root cause medicine takes too long or so less practical?
Look, I agree. Sometimes does take too long and it does seem less practical. But if you don't treat the root cause, it's going to continue. So, it's like if you gash your leg open and a bone's sticking out and you stick a bunch of band aids on it. It may heal the top layer of skin, but you still got the problem. It's still there and it's still going to cause infection, and all these things are going to happen because you haven't treated root cause. So I say to people that ask me, why is this taking too long? Well, how long have you been unwell for? You've come to me, you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever. This didn't start 5 minutes ago. So I'm not going to fix it in 5 minutes.
What misconceptions do patients commonly have about root cause treatment, Miss Magic?
I think a common misconception about root cause treatment is that it's going to either be too in depth. Some people think it's too personal because I'm asking so many questions. Some people think it won't last because, they'll get sick again. And in some of those cases, yes, they will get sick again. And it may be an offshoot of that root cause, or the root cause that we've identified. There may be something they haven't told me. And so it's going to change the trajectory of the treatment. So I really say to people, what have you got to lose? You've been chronically ill for however long. By treating root cause, we're certainly going to help. We won't be harming.
Have you found any resistance within the medical or wellness community toward this approach?
A lot, yes. I have found a lot of resistance. Look, people work with me on packages, and once they've done that package, they're usually on their way and everything's great. I don't want them as a continual repeat customer. So I'm not just issuing a medication like some doctors do, not all doctors, but some, and hoping that they come back because of the side effects causing more issues. Now, I know that's quite controversial to say, but once I've done my job and helped these people get well, I'm wanting them to go and live their magical life. I don't want them to keep coming back.
Miss Magic, tell us your latest book. What is it all about?
Well, I haven't written one for a few years, but I will. I will be doing one soon about farm to medicine cabinet and the must-have first aid kit for the family.
Yes, and how about the five-step lymphatic freedom system? What is it all about?
Yeah, so that's just a report that's free on our website so that people can learn about the lymphatic system and see how important it is for lymphatic health.
Oh, introduction, a book that introduction for the subject that you are teaching right now.
Yeah, so I do teach some lymphatic work. Certainly with my clients overseas, we do it via Zoom. And yeah, it's just an entry level.
Outcomes and the broader impact. Can you share a success story where addressing the root cause completely transformed someone's health?
Yes, I have a client that came to me unable to walk, unable to function socially, unable to do anything with her family. And she'd been chronically ill for quite some time. And recently, she just went on a holiday with her husband. So that's been fantastic. She can spend time with her family now. She can do things that she never thought she'd ever do again. She's actually been babysitting her grandkids and, really chuffed when I get a postcard that this is her first holiday in 30 years.
Miss Magic, as a podcast host, an author, and while creating a magical life, what are your short term and long term goals?
Well, short term at the moment is to be able to get outside and do some gardening. There's a huge storm here at the moment. So short term, we're in spring here in Australia. I really want to get my year's food supply planted and going. Long term, I want to buy my farm here. So, I love what I do with my career and it really fulfills me, but it's better from a beautiful farm where I can look out the window at kangaroos every day.
Yes, kangaroo indeed. We don't have kangaroo here in Canada, Miss Magic, but we have a lot of bear.
Yep.
And good luck to your goals and looking forward for more success. And what would be your piece of advice for those people out there want to have a podcast, to have a book, or to create a magical life?
Yeah, look, for a book, the best thing to do is to map it out. So when I'm writing a book, I have like a big chart on my wall with different colored post-its, and I put my heading, my subheadings, my chapter headings, my point form notes for each chapter, and I work through it methodically. So I have a big picture on the wall of what I'm writing, because there's nothing scarier than staring at a blank screen or a blank page and not knowing where to go from there. So writing a book, I would do it chapter by chapter, do it methodically, maybe start with your introduction and your conclusion, and then fill in the gaps in the middle. For a podcast, I waited 3 years to start my podcast. I had all my equipment and just didn't get going. And that was that fear of failure. So all I would say, if you want to start a podcast, is jump in, get it started, and work it out later.
Yes, just do it. As I
Yes.
said, just do it. Stop
I actually have a
procrastinating.
rock on my desk that says, just do stuff.
Just do stuff. I like it. Yes, and stop procrastinating, people. If you have the passion to be a podcaster, please do so. But if you have also a passion of writing, write, and tell to the world or share to the world. Thank you for that advice, Miss Magic. And can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Yeah, look, one of the books that really struck me was The Four Agreements by Miguel. Can't remember his name now. By Miguel.
Yes, by Miguel.
By Miguel, it is. The Four Agreements. And so the first agreement is be impeccable with your word. And I try and do this with my clients. I try and do it with my books, and I certainly do it with my podcast. The second one is don't take anything personally. When you're podcasting, when you're writing, and when you're treating patients, sometimes, something gets said. Brush it off. It's not about you. It's about whatever that person's going through. Don't make assumptions. So with my clients, I don't make assumptions that they know what's going on inside their body. So I try and teach them as I'm going along. With my podcast, I don't make assumptions there either, that, what I'm saying is what my listeners want to hear. And always do your best. And I do strive to always do my best in everything I do. Doesn't mean it has to be perfect, just means you have to do it.
Yes. Thank you for that recommended book, Miss Magic. And how does treating a root causes lead to a better long-term results compared to a symptom management?
Well, treating root cause, you're really stopping the continual cycle of symptoms. So symptoms, as I said earlier, are just the indicators, just the flags on the way to the destination. When you're treating root cause, you are really creating a much healthful base to work from. And, if you just keep treating symptoms, things are going to keep popping up. So it's like playing whack-a-mole, at the fair or the show or wherever you go. You can hit one, but another one's going to keep popping up. So it's really important that you treat root cause, that you really authentically care for your body, because that's what your body needs, and it's what everybody's body needs around you. So when you look after yourself, your friends, your family, your co-workers will all get the idea that they need to do that too. So it's really a ripple effect.
A ripple effect for sure. And before we wrap up our discussion for today, Miss Magic, I'm inviting you to please listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too. Comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast Law 101 and mental health 101. Love letters in third season, and movie 101 review and music 101 on fourth season, and science 101 and sex 101 in its fourth season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcasts. So, Miss Magic, how or have you found any resistance within the medical or wellness community toward this approach?
Yeah, look, I do find a lot of resistance, and it really comes down to understanding. We mentioned the lymphatic system, and I've got my free offer there on the website. A lot of the medical system don't understand what this system does, and it's really important that we share information and that we really get across those objections and misunderstandings in a really helpful way.
Looking ahead, how do you envision a root cause medicine shaping the future of healthcare?
Look, I think it's taking our future back to the past. This is what used to happen, a century ago. So it's really doing that and making sure that we look after our communities, our families, and ourselves in a way that does no harm, because really that's what medicine as an umbrella should be doing. So root cause medicine and functional medicine, I think, is the way forward. We need to integrate it into modern life.
Miss Magic Barclay, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your podcast, your book, or your business itself?
Yeah, look, everything's on our website that you see there. It's www.holisticnaturalhealth.com.au. Holistic with a W because we treat with holism. Everything is there, our free root cause analysis, our free documents, our blogs, and of course the podcast.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Magic Barclay, because if you support her, for sure, more and more empowering episodes of the podcast, more and more empowering advocacy to come. So, Miss Magic, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
More to come, people. See you soon.